So we're going to teach you tonight, if you don't know, and those of you at home if you don't know, all about the sacred symbol, how to use it in daily application, how to send it out to help people, how to use it for yourself in many ways. And it's an alignment because as the ascension unfolds, as the galactic alignment is happening more and more, the divine feminine is anchoring more and more. And the Prema Dharmadhatu is in conjunction with that, that energy, the divine feminine coming in. So let me go right to explain to you about the symbols. Get right to it, so we have a lot to cover. These are the 3 sacred symbols that have manifested recently, in recent years. And basically they are a mirror of our ascension process. In 2003, or 2004 it was, the Prema Agni came through. Prema Agni means fire of divine love. Prema means love in Sanskrit, and Agni means fire. And this came through, and Terry and myself were there when it came through in New York, one of the hotels up the street. And Derek brought it through, channeled it, and there's a lot of stories about how it came about and what it means. But we don't have time to go into that tonight because we're focusing on the Prema Dharmadhatu, which is the sister symbol, if you will. And then a year later, the rising star came through, the healing modality, the energy. And this is the symbol that came with it, the rising star. And that was when our ascension process was heating up. So this is the rising star. We're going to talk about that. And that basically symbol came to show our ascension process anchoring. And then in 2008, as the ascension got more and more closer, as you know, the divine feminine started to anchor more and more. The Prema Dharmadhatu came through. And this sort of is about expanding heart love, expanding heart energy. So the Prema Agni is about opening to love. The rising star is your fullness of who you are, your ascension, mirroring that. And the Prema Dharmadhatu is expanding love. And as you can see, they sort of look like a man and a woman in a way, or more masculine and more feminine. And they really mirror us, our process, where we're at. When you look at a sacred symbol, the symbol is supposed to mirror, show you divinity, simply and easily, and access it without a lot of, thought or a lot of intellectual assessment. And so throughout history, when symbols have, when humanity has evolved, symbols have come in to help us viscerally see immediately in the moment that energy and that experience. And so these are not different or better than anything else. They're just simple manifestations of the process of where we're at. Simple tools to use, and you can use them in many ways, a variety of ways, which you'll learn tonight, of how to connect and anchor simply divine energy. When you want to open to love, you would do a Prema Agni. You would either do it for yourself, you send it long distance, you draw it on someone's back, all of which you're going to learn tonight with the Dharmadhatu, because we're focusing on that tonight. And the rising star you can't draw yet by itself. It's a sort of a powerful stepping up, so it's an initiatory process. But in daily use, you can use the Prema Agni and the Prema Dharmadhatu anytime you want, and we'll get into that as well. So also the heart shape. You see the heart shape here. The heart shape is a universal symbol that basic consciousness does. If you draw a square, you get a certain feeling, right? A certain impression. If you draw a heart, you get a different feeling and a different impression. So the reason, even though a heart isn't shaped this way, the sort of reason that came about in consciousness was because it's sort of like this openness and coming together and connecting. So it's sort of like a universal subconscious manifestation of what a heart is, or what a heart does, what a heart opens to. So that's why we have the heart in the symbol. That's the reason that manifests it that way. So why a sacred symbol? Why the need for these symbols? Well, as you evolve and you get into spiritual practice, it can be very easy to get complicated and confused about how to do this, how to do that, how to access this. There's long drawn-out rituals of how to do things. So these tools manifest it, and they're very powerful when you activate them on someone or for yourself, very powerful mini healings in and of itself that you can do for yourself. And the reason they're simple, clear lines is because they mirror us. Basically, you see they look like a body. You know? And when you go into spiritual practice and you study the flower of life, you know that the human body is the measuring stick of the universe. And so basically the symbols mirror that. And when you start working with them, which we will throughout the night, you'll feel and see how that resonates. So for many lifetimes, our hearts have been closed off, right? So now in this one lifetime, in this one short period of time, we're coming back to a point where we're ascending, as we call it, and that's why we've gone through such a tremendous healing process, such a short amount of time. It felt like, you know, crazy. And now we're sort of coming through that, and we're going off to the other side of that. And so these tools, accessing them and using them daily, help you to maintain that heart flow while everything's going crazy around you, maybe within you and all around. And so again, it's a simple tool to use. For many lifetimes, we used to bring in energy up. If you were very sexual or lower oriented, up, bypass the heart and it would go up. Or if you were intellectual, you know, ascetic. Many people were very extreme in many lifetimes. You had the nuns and the priests and the adepts, and then you had the crowd that just ate, slept, screwed, and did whatever they wanted to do. So we bent back and forth on lifetimes of doing those things until we learned our lessons, and now we're in a more evolved, holistic state. So again, these symbols can help you, as many healings with yourself, connect with that consciousness and in a simple, easy way, move forward through your ascension process. And just daily healing and just your daily self. So the intellectual energy people would have the energy come through the head, bypass the heart, and go down. So basically there was a cutting off and a closing off of the heart for many lifetimes. So our ascension is happening through our heart, particularly the awakening of the high heart chakra, which is between the throat and the heart. That's where it's happening, here. So these tools, again, these symbols, this energy, helps us to connect with that in a more immediate, visceral, simple way, right away, without bypassing resistance and bypassing dense energy. So again, these symbols are not meant to replace any other symbols. This energy is not meant to replace any other energy. I use it before Reiki. I put it in my hand. It's not a religious thing. It's a spiritual connection thing. It's a human thing. So also, too, when we do the symbols, when we draw them on ourselves or to other people, we will be working within our field, our auric field, our magnetic field. It's been said, and it's been going around on Facebook a lot too, that the magnetic field of the heart is like 100,000 times that of the brain. And even science is starting to register that, starting to feel that out. So again, when you're doing the Prema Agni, you're not just drawing it in thin air. You're doing it within your own aura, your own emotional body, your own auric structure, as we see. So it's like you're giving yourself a self-healing, a healing massage. You're opening up that to you. You know, I always joke to people, it's like that Jimmy Dean commercial with the big sun, you know, and the sun or the rainbow, and they're eating the sandwich, and it gets big. We really should be walking around with one of the aura things around us, because that's who we really are. You know, we're not just our physical body. We used to think that the skin was the largest organ in our body, but actually the largest organ is our aura. And we're discovering that as we become more multidimensional. And so when you do these sacred symbols, as you'll see when we get into it and you bring it into your heart, you're working within your own aura, your own emotional, energetic field. You have your physical body, right? Then you have your etheric body, which is about 2 inches out from you. Then you have your emotional body, it's about a foot out from you. Lower mental, where your ego is. Higher mental, where your intellectual morals and ideals reside, the energy of that. Then you have your intuitive body, where all your psychic senses are. Then you have your causal body, towards the edge of your aura, which is your closest part to everybody else in source. So you're not just this, you're all of this too. So when you are drawing the symbol, as you will later, and connecting or sending it out, you're working with that part of who you are. But because it's not tangibly physical, we often don't think of it. But as you become more multidimensional, as you become more evolved, we'll be able to read auras naturally. Like I can see yours is nice and yellow right now, bright and yellow around. You'll be able to feel and see and sense it and work through that and become more and more sensitive, more and more open. That's how you're going to connect with the other dimensions, connect with divinity and source, it's being downloaded with energy and all that. It's all through that auric connection. It's not just through your physical body. You feel it eventually in your physical body. In other words, it's part of you. It's part of you haven't fully opened up to yet, maybe. But again, when you use the symbols, it helps you open from your heart and be in that space. Now, our teacher, Derek O'Neill, spiritual teacher, has always said, the only protection you ever need is an open heart. The reason that is because when you create that open heart field, that reality mirrors back to you, and you don't invite, or you invite less of the darkness or drama or whatever is going on or could go on. So I talked briefly about the 3 basic symbols. Now, in the Prema Agni, those of you who know the Prema Agni, it contains within it portions of every other sacred symbol within it. So again, if you want to go onto the website, sqwellness.com, click on the symbol, a whole list of what it's about will come up. Of course, we can't go into that now because we have a lot to cover. And also the Dharmadhatu. So Prema Agni is about opening the heart to love. That's the first symbol that came in. Then the rising star manifested the healing modality. Then that symbol manifested to mirror that. And then as the divine feminine started to anchor more, the Prema Dharmadhatu came in 2008, and these symbols have been going all around the world. Everybody's been using them for healing. So I just wanted to go briefly what Dharmadhatu means, in case you don't know. So Prema Agni is fire of divine love. Prema meaning love, Agni meaning fire. Prema Dharmadhatu, of course, Prema means love. And Dharmadhatu is, really means the seed or point of truth. So truth and love. But I looked up Dharmadhatu because it's a very interesting thing, a lot of interesting information about it. It's the expansion, but also the inner fulfillment, not just the outward movement from center. Dharmadhatu is the purified mind in its natural state, free of the observation rendered by dualism. As well, it is the essence, quality, or nature of the mind, indeed, the fundamental ground of consciousness. So again, that point or seed of stillness, the void, the nothing, the moment before creation, the galactic alignment. The correct view is that all dharmas in the past, all dharmas at present, and all dharmas in the future are all together in the Dharmadhatu, not limited by space or time, meaning there's no beginning, no middle, end, everything's happening at the same time. Or this is an ultimate reality. The suchness, meaning what is, in which emptiness and dependent origination, meaning how things were created, are inseparable. Again, it's just another way of saying everything's one. The nature of mind and phenomena which lies beyond arising, meaning consciousness, dwelling and causing the root of Dharma. And of course, Dharma means the realm of phenomenon, the reality of truth, the reality of universal sympathy. It also means the source of reality. Again, back to that void, the womb, the nothing. Dharma is not only about decent behavior or good works or being proper. It's that which upholds or supports or maintains the regularity and the order of the universe. So when you are connecting to that, as you will see shortly, that's what you're connecting to. That's what you're coming back to and then expanding. You can't expand until you ground, really. Otherwise, you're just all over the place. We call it woo-woo, the spiritual community. If you ground and then you expand, you're connected. So there's 2 ways to draw the Prema Dharmadhatu. There's one way to draw the Prema Agni. It's very, very masculine, very simple, to the point, open in the heart. Because the Prema Dharmadhatu is about the divine feminine, about expansion, there's 2 ways to draw it. The energy comes into the north and expands the crown, and when the energy sends to the south and grounds you. So when you bring the energy centered to the south, it actually activates the medulla oblongata. And this we also call the mouth of God. It's this triangle space here is often called the mouth of God. It's where all our psychic impressions, all our downloading first comes into us, into our physical body. That's why you see a lot of people like this all day. People just want to cut things off, or that's why we get a lot of tension in the shoulder, because we're always bombarded throughout the day, and a lot of times we want to shut it off. So working in this area It activates and it helps ground you. So I'm going to show you how to draw it normal, just a regular way. And then we're going to expand it, and I'm going to show you how to draw it, since we're in an instructional environment, how to maximize it if you so choose. So we spoke about these symbols mirroring our ascension process on some level. And this is sort of like the divine masculine part of us, the divine feminine part of us, and we all have that within us, and sort of accessing those approaches to our heart openness and balancing. And of course, the rising star being the fully realized self. It actually looks like, people. These symbols look like people for a reason, stick figures for a reason. So we're focusing on the Prema Dharmadhatu, which is the expansion of love, openness of love. The poster here, expand your consciousness and experience unity and divine love with this sacred symbol. So I'm going to draw it on the board first, and then I'm going to show you how to do it, and we're going to work on it. When you first do it, you want to start with the dip of the heart, the top part, and you make a heart, right? Now, with the south version, in one continuous motion, you go down, you come back up to make the second dip of the heart, and in one continuous motion, hands on the body, you go 12 zigzags to the right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You come down and you turn like a key and lock it in. Then you come up and write a straight across, right to left, activates it, and that's the basic premise of the symbol.